Most of Facebook's advertising is what we call long-tail advertising. Right. So like these smaller mom-and-pop type businesses that advertise, download my app. When I say mom-and-pop, I'm talking about new apps coming into the fray. And it's not, they don't get the big brand advertisers. They don't get as many of those, certainly, as say TV does or sort of other major media. So, and that's something they've been trying to crack into. Political advertising, like TV, they see spikes during political cycles for sure. But again, it's de minimis to their business.
But am I wrong in saying that the political and social, when people thought that Facebook was a better mousetrap to sell you a toaster, they weren't that upset about giving away their privacy to sell you a toaster that's more, that's more of an Ed Lee toaster than a Joe whatever toaster, right?
Yeah, the left-leaning toaster versus the right-leaning toaster.
That they can target these toasters. Once it became clear that they could target you around either social messaging or political messaging and influencing your thinking about things, that's where things got much more complicated.
It's where it got more complicated. Also, I went back to my Facebook profile, looked through my settings of the weekend just to double check how this is working exactly. It's interesting how they you can turn off ad targeting. You can turn off ad targeting to your profile, but the way Facebook couches is really interesting. It means you will see ads less relevant to you. Doesn't mean you're going to see fewer ads if you turn off ad targeting. You'll just see more random ads, right? So they've always sort of professed the benefit of targeted advertising as things that matter more to you, so therefore it feels less like advertising, right? I think that's always been the pitch.
Right. Do you think that the business model could work if there was, we were talking about a paid version of it, if there was a Netflix
freemium,
where
there's
you pay without advertising?
Well, so of course I think that would really severely cut into their business, for one thing. I think whatever people are willing to pay for a certain kind of higher level access to it won't make up for ultimately the ad dollars that they're getting, because again, as a free service, 2 billion people worldwide, using it.
So what are the ramifications, though? What's the worst thing that could happen to Facebook I'm thinking of it as a stock, and therefore then I'm thinking about the types of regulations that could impact the stock price.
Well, so, if Congress steps in and takes more of an EU-style approach to regulation, that could really cut in, right? They could choke the data, and it would affect not just political advertising, but all kinds of advertising, right? And that's what the Cambridge Analytica scandal showed us, which was, it wasn't so much that, even though they were harvesting the data for political ad purposes, the point is any third party could come in and grab it for any purpose.
So, we still don't know what they've been collecting.
Exactly.
And not just over the weekend, finding out that if you were on an Android phone,
that they logged all your phone calls,
your text logs, everything's been saved. I mean, we worry about the NSA. Why aren't we worried about Facebook? And by the way, not just Facebook, Google, Apple, anybody else who's collecting.
But Facebook is really, they more than anyone, more than Google and Twitter and anyone else, they have the most data because we give up the most data. We put down our birthdays and where we live.
No, this is stuff we didn't give up. You signed something, you agreed to let an app
all of a sudden they were using something.
And all of a sudden it's got access to anything that you were ever doing that's not related to Facebook.
No, and
that's crazy.
Think that's why you're seeing the poll numbers that you're seeing, right? Because all of a sudden people realize, oh, I didn't know you were using my data for that purpose, right? And I think what made it worse is that even Facebook said, oh, we didn't realize that these third parties were taking this data and or using them outside their guidelines. So I think that they have a lot more work to do in terms of what are the consequences. Yes, if there's a much stricter regulations, it could really cut into their business overall. In terms of who's at the top and what needs to happen there, Mark Zuckerberg, he's the control.
He's the control shareholder. He's not going anywhere.
He is not going anywhere. You can't hire more Sheryl Sandbergs.
Sheryl Sandberg's not going anywhere. He was praising her over the weekend on Instagram
for her 10-year anniversary. So, I mean, the liability, frankly, is Mark Zuckerberg himself and the controlling share structure that he's got. There's no one to put in checks and balances in place against him because of that.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.